guys remember Parlo. He's a Roblox drama YouTuber. Recently made the pyrocynical rehash documentary video that I reacted to, but he actually has come back with some allegations of his own, dude. The Parlo situation is real and crazy and real crazy. Guamgo, there's been a lot that has happened in this series. I think even Guamgo has made like a bunch of videos chronicling what's been going on with this guy over the last couple of months, it looks like. Freaking Roblox YouTuber Parlo got arrested. Roblox YouTuber Parlo arrest situation got worse. Goodbye, Parlo. I'm Disappointed in Parlo is the most recent addition. I don't know if it's worth looking into all of these 20-minute videos, but let's freaking see what this most recent thing is about.
Before I begin this video, I want to clarify that this isn't just a commentary video or some kind of news coverage. This is coming from someone who's been close friends with Parlo for nearly 3 years.
This is just a reaction video from me.
Lonniedos.
Let's get one thing straight.
And after everything that surfaced a couple nights ago, I've made the decision to completely cut ties with him for good, and in this video I intend to explain why. Before I get into everything, please like this video. I want to start off this video by explaining what
I don't know what my thoughts are yet, dude. I can't comment yet.
Happened and
dude.
what led to all of this happening. On November 9th, 2 Google documents dropped, one from Parlo and one from someone known as Internet Adjacent or Wolfgang. Both went into disturbing detail about their relationship and what supposedly happened between them in person.
I believe they were in some sort of relationship with each
Originally,
other.
Parlo wanted
These
me
two
to make
creators.
a video defending him to help quote-unquote tell his side. But after reading through everything myself, I just can't. What's in those documents completely changed how I see him, and after knowing him for almost 3 years, I couldn't be more disgusted with his decision to make all of this public. Before any of this blew up as it did, I started a major argument with Parlo about it. I told him to keep it private and to take down the documents immediately, because this would not end well for him. At that point, I didn't even realize how bad the document really was. I just knew that turning a situation this serious into public drama was the worst move he could have made, especially as it was a personal situation and a private situation. Instead of actually listening to me, he snapped at me, called me and said he was the biggest victim out of everyone, more than Schlepp, Ruben, or even me. That's when I realized
those are all Roblox creator guys.
he didn't care about accountability. He wanted control. Up until then, I'd still been trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but the arrogance and lack of empathy he showed in that argument told me everything I needed to know. And when that document fully came out and when I actually took a look at it, I understood why he was so defensive, because it wasn't just a statement. It was a 75-page dump of content where Parlo went into level details about his life. Reading that was disgusting, not just because of what he wrote, but because he knew exactly who his audience was, mostly minors, and he still posted it anyways.
I think the point of this document was to like accuse the Wolfgang Internet Adjacent guy of some sexual wrongdoings while they were together in person. And the Parlo guy made a document about him, and the other guy made a document about his point of view. I'm not looking at all that shit, dude, but this guy's complaining that it was too explicit. It shared too many intimate details, and he's disgusted by it.
That's when I knew that I couldn't defend him anymore.
I don't know if that's just because this guy doesn't like the idea of gay sex, or if it's just because something specific to this document.
That's why I'm making this video. The first thing I want to talk about is the GoFundMe that Parlo made. The screenshots you're seeing on screen right now are from Wolfgang's document, and they show something completely unbelievable. Around late September, Parlo launched a GoFundMe claiming he needed money for legal fees, food, and rent. He told me the same thing privately, which is why he asked me to promote it in my video about his disappearance. He said he was facing possible litigation and still dealing with this temporary arrest during the dupe situation, and I believed him.
So we're getting the recap in the video. Nice, nice.
Been helping him behind the scenes for months, compiling evidence, organizing files, and doing work.
Yeah, I think the Parlo guy got like falsely accused of like being a predator or something, and which is, I mean, he like makes drama videos about predators and stuff, and then someone like falsely accused him, so the police like took his computer, and I think he had to leave his home living situation or something. I don't recall all the details, but
free to
something like that.
Legal costs. But just a week later, he used that same money to fund a trip to London, a trip that was explicitly in nature. Evidence shows Parlo sent over $1,400 to Wolfgang, with $1,100 being for the plane ticket and the other $300 being for the passport and other fees. All this was happening while Parlo was still collecting donations from fans who thought they were helping him pay rent or legal bills. When people started calling him out, Parlo claimed that the GoFundMe money came in after the trip, as if that made it okay. But that's not how it works.
I mean, when you ask for help like that from the public, people are gonna expect that you don't have like a surplus of money to use on frivolous things like flying out people, going on vacation, whatever else.
Once you start asking people for donations, all your finances matter. You can't claim to be broke and begging for help while also blowing your own money on luxury trips and hookups. It's the same pool of money, and how you prioritize it says everything.
It doesn't matter if it's like the same exact money. It's still your money. It goes into your money pool like it's the same. It's the resources
he hadn't paid his editors
of
in
yours
5 months and was still asking friends like me to handle his work for free. Meanwhile, he bought a new
You guys handle my work for free?
gaming laptop worth around $2,100 or about 1,600 sterling.
You stupid.
And a brand new phone, which is probably around $500 to $800.
So I think that's because the police like seized his stuff, which would be understandable, but I don't know how long they would be keeping it or when he would get it back. I guess that would determine. That would also determine like what you need to spend money on. But I also don't know how much you need to spend on a computer or whatever the fuck.
Normally,
it could have been excessive, who knows?
But when you're begging strangers for money to stay afloat, that's not a good look. I even offered to help him make money again by letting him upload on my channel while his was still locked. But instead of
that is ban evading. Don't do that, and you will get in trouble.
being responsible, he spent thousands on technology in his trip. We even finished a few videos together that I've now completely canceled because there's no way I can in good faith feature him on my channel after all of this.
I think the Parlo guy also has 2 strikes on his channel and can't upload or something.
And just to update, after a lot of arguing, Parlo finally admitted that the
We're
GoFundMe...
piecing it all together, guys. We're piecing 5 videos together in one. I know the pieces of the lore, I just don't know the sequence of events.
The situation was bad and supposedly planned to refund donors. But that doesn't change the fact that he only realized it after a massive argument and a public meltdown. He even started a fight on Twitter with Tanuki Alex, calling the whole situation a nothing burger when she was completely right to call him out. Now, before getting into the rest of the document itself, I need to explain how I first heard about all of this, because what Parlo told me back then and what I know now are 2 completely different stories. About a month ago, Parlo messaged me privately claiming he'd been by Wolfgang that he'd been during their meetup. He told me Wolfgang had snuck into the shower with him, scrubbed his back, and that things got freaky without his consent. I didn't judge him for being gay or anything like that. I just took it at face value.
I didn't judge him for being gay or anything. As if like that's the normal response. Interesting. Okay. See, I didn't really know where this guy was coming at it from. Maybe he's just young himself. I don't know. Maybe he shouldn't be reading stuff like that was written in those Google Docs. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it is weird to release that to your Roblox audience. Maybe you got a point.
He's got freaky without his consent.
Freaky,
I didn't judge him for being gay or anything like that. I just took it at face value, and he made it sound like a serious... But after reading the actual DMs and screenshots Parlo himself included in his document, that version completely fell apart. The messages show Parlo openly flirting and initiating things long before the meetup, saying things like, "I do want my tucked, I cannot lie," and "I might be a
Not the fucking British accent with the... Oh my god, dude. What is this?
But you have to be delicate." These aren't messages from someone being... They're from someone who's fully aware and willing. Parlo's own writing describes Wolfgang entering the bathroom and the shower while he looked away uncomfortably, but nowhere does he say he told Wolfgang no. And later on Dicker's livestream, he even admitted that there was never any clear communication of him saying no. Looking at it now, it's obvious that this wasn't some one-sided... It was mutual, messy, and embarrassing, not criminal. Parlo only started calling it afterwards, seemingly because it didn't go how he wanted or because Wolfgang wasn't what he expected. But what really pushed it over the edge was that both of them decided to make this private situation public. Parlo's 75-page document goes into level detail, writing about and objects used during, even including censored photos of them. He literally talks about using a purple glitter toy he nicknamed Cinderella and describes in detail what he...
It's kind of also giving Pyro cynical allegation response, which is interesting, because I know we reacted to Parlo's video about that whole situation, and he was on the side of like, Pyro got off too easy, he just like threw all his like weird fetish stuff out there to like distract or whatever, and it kind of feels like you overshared here in a similar fashion, intentionally or otherwise, while also releasing that video very recently. It's just very weird.
Did with it. So just putting it in his no-notes.
Like he said there's 70 pages of this smut.
He added captions about objects, all labeled as evidence. This document wasn't made for authorities, by the way. Parlo made this in order to release it to the public. Within 48 hours, that document had 80,000 views from just one tweet. Parlo even included a personal note like, "I don't think I've off in like 4 or 5 days," which is just insane to include in a document you're sharing with an audience of mostly minors. Just to be clear here, Wolfgang is not innocent, but Parlo's choice to release something this personal to the public is beyond irresponsible. He labeled it as transparency, but it is not at all. It's self-exposing, degenerate, and completely disconnected from reality. This should have stayed private, never made public. Before I get to the argument that I had with Parlo, there's something in his document that also seriously needs to be addressed because it shows how hypocritical he really is. On page 19, Parlo brings up a situation involving Yixalo, also known as Avalon, same person, just a different username, and he wrote that Yixalo was probably known to have been 17 turning 18 on September 30th, 2025, and that Wolfgang knew this. Parlo even included his exact birthday, and claims that just 2 days after Yixalo turned 18, Wolfgang started sending unsolicited and getting in DMs, supposedly making him feel pressured to respond. The part that makes this so bizarre is that Parlo was right there. He admits it all happened in a small group chat that included him, Wolfgang, Avalon, and 3 other accounts he conveniently censored in the screenshots. So Parlo knew exactly what was going on and could have spoken up or stepped in, but he didn't. He even admits—
obviously, if you're in fucking being involved with someone who just turned 18 literally 2 days ago, and you've been talking to them, that could obviously easily be a grooming situation. It's just definitely weird, definitely odd behavior for sure.
Created another chat named Oktoberfest that was literally meant to plan a 3-way between them. And in that chat, Wolfgang sent furry art and photos of himself dressed as a femboy, even full just 8 days after Avalon turned 18. So if Parlo really thought that this was wrong, why didn't he say anything back then? Why didn't he leave, report it, or confront Wolfgang? Why wait to include it in a 75-page document like it suddenly mattered when it could be used to make him look better? He even tries to frame it as calling Wolfgang out, but all it really shows is that he sat there, watched everything happen, didn't intervene, didn't care, not until it became useful to him. Honestly, reading this section felt like watching a twisted back and forth between 2 people who did really horrible things, like Jeffrey Epstein versus Diddy. After seeing that, I confronted
Epic rap battle of victory!
Did really horrible things, like Jeffrey
Epstein versus P. Diddy. Begin!
Epstein versus Diddy. After seeing that, I confronted Parlo privately, and I asked him why he hadn't said anything, why he thought making it public afterwards was somehow the right move, and that's when our argument started. Now, about the argument I had with Parlo, I just wanted to understand what the hell he was thinking. From the very start, it was obvious that this whole thing should have stayed private. I couldn't wrap my head around why he thought it was a good idea to drop a document like that publicly, especially one filled with that type of information. I first found out about everything through Twitter when both his and Wolfgang's documents dropped. I happened to be on call with one of my editors, planning another video for the next day, but once this blew up, we decided to go through it together. Parlo was in the group chat for my editor since he was supposed to help me out with my channel for a couple of months while his own was locked due to the police taking his devices, and out of nowhere, he joined the call and told me he needed me to make a video defending him. At that point, I still thought it was just people lying about him, but as soon as I started reading, Parlo told me not to bother with Wolfgang's document and to just read mine. I told him straight up that, based off of Wolfgang's document, the GoFundMe part looked really bad because it actually made sense, and I didn't even know he had done something like that. Instead of explaining anything, he snapped at me, called me a moron, a little bit less friendly, it started with an R, and told me to shut up and to get to his part, meaning his document. Now, I ended up continuing to read Wolfgang's document, and Parlo ended up leaving the call because he was going to go speak on another streamer's live stream to give, quote-unquote, his side of the story. He ended up joining the call back later, but we'll get to that in a moment. Now, once I actually got to Parlo's document, everything completely fell apart because it wasn't a defense, it was a 75-page graphic content that did not belong online. I told him exactly that when he joined the call back later, that it was disgusting, irresponsible, and would destroy his reputation. I also
writing the
warned him that this
ERB
kind of
right now.
doesn't just hurt him,
Hell yeah,
it hurts
bars.
everyone connected to him.
They should all be behind him.
I told him verbatim, dude, you understand this is going to start affecting everyone who's associated to you, right? Because that's exactly what's been happening. Even while talking in live streams about the situation, because there's been 2 or 3 streams about the situation, people were already trying to drag me into it, saying that I knew everything or had all the archives, which is complete. I found out the exact same way everyone else did. Now, at about an hour throughout reading this document, Parlo ended up joining the call back again because the first stream ended, and we told Parlo exactly how we felt, we being me and a video editor of mine who is going to testify to the details that I'm about to explain. Once Dial and I explained to Parlo what we thought about this document of his, Parlo completely lost it. He started calling us stupid, slow, and said that nobody would understand what he was going through. I told him straight up that nobody's going to take you seriously once this gets out. He kept spiraling, saying that he was the biggest victim, worse off than Ruben, Schlepp, or even me, and it was just a full-on meltdown.
What do those other Roblox guys even have to do with this? It's so random that he would just mention them in a fit of rage.
Well, my editor was there for it all.
I mean, obviously, if he was essayed by the Wolfgang guy, that is bad. But did we need 75 pages to convey this? I don't know. Maybe you could have just said that, and we could go from there.
The call, and that's when it hit me. He'd completely lost control. Now on screen, you're going to see Dial's testimony as to what happened. If you have any questions, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Now, later on that night, he went live again on another live stream on Dicker's live stream. This time, this live stream is still up. You guys can go check it out. And somehow, that live stream made everything worse. He doubled down, reading his entire document on stream, every detail, including the Cinderella part, like it was normal. Then, when people brought up the GoFundMe again, he fell apart because there's no way to justify using over $1,000 to fly someone out for gay. That was the breaking point.
I mean, I think in my expert opinion of looking at this situation and the information available, it seems like it comes off as a scam. I mean, you're making a big purchase frivolously while also asking your fans to help you out financially. It's not a good look.
To cut him off.
It seems like you got caught, buddy.
The document, the live stream, the arguing, the gaslighting. I made my final decision.
Maybe he's just so scatterbrained that he doesn't see it at the time. But that's like the most charitable I can be. It's still a bad thing to do.
And permanently cut Parlo off. I've known Parlo for almost 3 years, and he's not the same person from back then. Back then, he cared about his content and had some integrity. Now, he refuses to take accountability.
Yeah, I didn't know him back then, and I don't know him now, but he seems like he's crashing out. Potentially understandably so, if there was really some false allegations that got the police to come after him, and I think he has, like, family issues as well. It's a whole mess, dude. Shout out Guamgo, though, for making this informative piece of content to keep us up to date. What do you guys think of the Parlo situation? Is he cooked? Is he chopped? What do you think?